Something that I noticed. A lot of astrologers will look at synastry, look at one or two aspects, and then automatically call the relationship. But synastry isn't just one square or one conjunction. It's the entire chart, the nodes, Venus, Saturn. Even using draconic astrology, those layers can show you the soul contracts behind a connection. For example, in my chart with my fiance, his Saturn squares my Sun and Venus. And trust me, that does bring challenges. We've had to learn patience together. We've had to learn responsibility together. We've had to learn how to keep our anger in check, how to communicate. But Saturn isn't always negative. Yes, it can bring weight, but it also brings accountability. Saturn brings tests, but it's also where bonds can last if you're willing to grow with one another. That's why when I do my readings, I don't just stop at tropical synastry. Tropical shows the lessons and the attraction in this lifetime, but draconic astrology shows the soul connection. When my fiance and I first started talking, there was a full moon with Mars retrograde in Gemini. In my draconic chart, that hit my 7th house of partnerships, which is why our conversation felt more than just a conversation. I literally knew he was going to be my husband. When we finally first met in person, the Sun and Venus were both conjunct in Sagittarius. In draconic, that landed on my south node in the 7th house, which is like past life themes. For him, that lined up with his Juno, which is like soulmate and partnership themes. So yeah, if I would have just looked at our tropical synastry, that Saturn square in Mars retrograde looks messy. But when you read the whole chart, it literally shows that we chose to come back and reunite in this lifetime to work and build and do it right together. Since then, we've literally had our own child, our son, in 2024 during our nodal activations. And now we're literally raising our children, planning for our future to move abroad, and just living our life full of love and laughter and happiness. It's not always perfect, but one thing that I will say is that we have learned how to communicate, build, and grow with each other. And that is exactly what Saturn wanted from us. Saturn is literally maturing us and has matured us. That's why I always say that synastry has to be read like a whole story. Tropical for the lessons, draconic for the soul story, and you can still use other systems and tools like Vedic and composite charts to find a deeper layer and meaning behind the relationship. This is how you understand the real purpose behind a connection. And that's what I do in my readings. Link in bio if you would like to know the deeper story behind you and your lover's connection.